The magician. Rina was diagnosticated a bad disease, and her son Franco was being told she would only have 3 months left, while Franco and his wife Immacolata decided to keep it a secret and to avoid worrying her too much, for she was quite fragile and sensitive. The other day, the both of them were watching TV, and there was some report about a healer. During the transmission, there were people on interview who showed their gratefulness towards that healer, who, in their opinion, had saved them. The couple looked at one another. They didn't need any words to know they would make a try on that. From the medical side, there was no way of healing left, so they only could try on other ways. There were even 2 more reasons in favor of the healer. First, he was in the north. He lived in a small place on level ground, and as Franco was convinced, everyone knew people from the north could be trusted in. Moreover, the main thing at all, miracles are happening by the invocations of Mother Mary, he believed. If Mother Mary has chosen him as a mediator, he really might be a capable human, so Immacolata. They decided to send them their pretty daughter Antonia with her black curls and her disarming smile, especially for she was the only one who had studied at the university. She would certainly be the best conversation partner for such a famous man as that healer. It was winter then when Antonia took over this important mission. She climbed the night bus which brought her from Cosenza to Modena, and in the follow she took the regional train in the early morning hours. How dirty are these windows, Antonia thought. In vain she tried to clean the pane with a handkerchief to have a better look out. In reality, what took her the sight was just outside the train. It was the fog. Like some thick and grey cloud, it kept densely hanging concisely over the ground. What gave her right away a feeling of oppression, yes, almost like claustrophobia. The journey was rather burdensome. Her thoughts were between her fright about the granny, her sensation of mindlessness, and this new and weak hope. Just with effort, she made it to spell the name of the village, which was her destination. Then she arrived and left the train. She disappeared instantly, swallowed up by that cold and humid fog, which crawled up into her bones. The village consisted of a few rural houses and farmyards. Passing by, she could hear the shuffling animals in the stable. Antonia wasn't able to find the healer's mansion, so she would ask someone, but there wasn't any human around. Slowly, she grew nervous. After a while, she saw an old woman and went towards her. "Excuse me, madam." "What's up?" the farmagönsis said in her slang. Antonia didn't get anything but continued. "Do you know a healer living anywhere around here?" "I do know," the old one answered, while returning into her farmhouse. "You mean that magician?" Some male voice sounded upright out of nowhere. It was just now that Antonia got aware of someone else to be at present. "Yes, exactly that one," she uttered, satisfied because she had obviously guessed the man's word. He advised her to go straight ahead and then turn to the left at the end of the road. There she would find the magicians. She started out, but only could guess where the path turned to the right, because it was absolutely impossible to watch anything with that dense fog. All of a sudden, there turned up some lonely situated old mansion in front of her eyes, almost like a little Fata Morgana. Hesitatingly, she knocked on the big gate. There was a woman to answer the door, who led her into a huge room that was painted with fresco. Never ever Antonia had seen such a luxury. Like in some waiting hall, people were sitting there. She watched two young women talking to each other with their voices low. It took endless time until she was the only one left there when the healer appeared. Antonia was surprised, for she had a completely other impression about that man. She rather thought of a pudgy man who wasn't that young anymore, like the farmer she had met before. Instead, that man in front of her was an angel, a tall man about 50, sensual and with his mottled grey hair, his athletic body, and his black eyes with their hypnotic view. He asked Antonia to have a seat in front of some huge table. She sat down, told him about her granny, and showed him the photograph she had on her. Your granny has got a serious disease. There we are able to save her, dear Antonia, he eventually said while taking her hand with a smile. Antonia recognized that she turned red. He led her into another room where at the end some chair was to be found inside a sort of cabin with lots of psychedelic lights. According to the healer, the sessions of 10 minutes each under that colorful light might be saving Irina. It would be necessary to take at least 2 sessions a week, so the healer. Well, but Granny won't be able to attend the sessions herself, for she doesn't know anything about her illness. Would it be possible then to heal her from the far? There were some witnesses to have told that. Certainly it would, the magician said without batting his eyelid. In that case, you have to do the sessions, and if you'll be back home again, you must take your granny by the hand. I'm doing everything that you'll be advised by myself in order to transmit the collected benefits onto her. If you like, we might be starting now. Antonia agreed. Well, my dear, take off your jacket and your bra, otherwise the lights can't penetrate your body. Keep your blouse just on. And as being hypnotized, Antonia did obey. The healer accompanied her into the cabin, and when he let her take a seat, he put his hands onto her shoulder, whereupon she felt an agreeable warmth which did relax her. Then he switched off the lights and whispered with his voice, ingratiating, Well, my dear, now I'm going to speak some prayers while touching you with that branch. You have to keep your eyes closed and don't move. By no means. Antonia closed her eyes. She sat comfortably, and her red silk blouse lay softly on her breast. The magician turned on the psychedelic lights. Antonia could watch them through her lids, and immediately she felt the effect of the shining arrows on her body. First of all, the warmth of yellow, then the breeze of green, and finally the cold of blue. She felt very well, imagining the lights to be filled up with that well-doing energy, which she, as soon as she was home again, would let flow in with her granny again. Don't think of anything, just let your concerns go. Let yourself be penetrated by the warmth of the absolutely good, the man said under voice. His voice grew warmer. He made her sleepy with the energy of the red light. She even felt the virginity of that man. Now he whispered something into her ear, and a comfortable sensation rose inside of her. She noticed a light scratch on her back and legs. The magician murmured incomprehensible words towards her. The warmth of his breath came steadily closer to her ears, her throat, and her mouth. She felt being excited, and she was terribly ashamed without any motion, as in a trance, that she was in a state of deepest lust, maybe wanderlust. Suddenly she felt something gliding down into the neck of her blouse and caressing her breast. Getting aware of this, not being the blessed branch, but instead the healer's hand, she didn't have any strength left to oppose to that enchanted inertia. The blouse, so to say, was gliding down just like that, and her body simultaneously contracted of lust. Hopefully did not wanderlust. Under the firm and likewise tender grip of that man, and the gentle healer took the young girl with him into paradise. Antonia didn't look up that healer anymore, and of course she either didn't tell anyone what had been going on there. Towards her parents, she said that this man had spoken saving prayers for the granny. Thus everyone knew that it was a healer who had done good to the granny, whom of which lived up to her 89th birthday, though nobody would have ever imagined how much good that healer had been doing to the niece.